The Raspberry Pi desktop, also known as Pixel, is available for use on a PC or a Macintosh. In fact, some people prefer it over other desktop environments. The Raspberry Pi Foundation has created a version that can be installed on either a hard drive or a USB stick. If you install Pixel on a USB memory stick, you can boot to Pixel without harming the files already on your computer. Hi, I'm Mark Neiman Ross, and welcome to this week's edition of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Every week, we explore the Raspberry Pi and share useful tips. There are 3 steps to creating a bootable USB version of Raspbian Desktop. First, download the software. Second, create the USB drive. And third, boot from the USB. Download the Raspberry Pi Desktop ISO from raspberrypi.org. This may take several hours. While you're waiting, download the Etcher program from Balena. When all files are downloaded, insert an 8 GB or better USB memory stick into your computer. Be aware that all of the files on the stick will be deleted. Now run the Etcher program. This will step you through the process of creating a bootable USB drive. When the Etcher program is finished, restart your computer. On Windows, go to the Advanced Setup in Settings and Restart Now. Watch for the reboot message at the bottom of the screen. You may miss it the first time. That's okay. Just reboot a second time. If you're still having problems, try a search for Windows Boot to USB, followed by the type of your computer. In my personal experience, I found booting the USB to be the most difficult step in this entire process. Every Windows computer seems to do this in a different way. You may have to be persistent. On the Macintosh, when you hear the reboot chime, press and hold C as in cat. When your computer reboots, it will start a pre-boot program called Grub. Choose Run with Persistence. The installer program will help you set a few things up, such as language, time zone, password, and Wi-Fi, and then it will update the software. Again, this may take a while. After the update, you'll be asked to reboot. Depending on how your computer is set up, you might accidentally reboot back into the default GUI instead of Raspberry Pi. If that happens, reboot again using the special commands to boot from a USB drive. Now you'll have Pixel running on your desktop. For those of you looking to play Minecraft, you'll immediately note it is missing. You may be able to install it by using the Add Remove Software menu under Preferences. You will not be able to access files on the other computer system, only the files on the USB drive. Likewise, any files you create are stored on the USB drive. When you remove the USB drive from the computer, your new files will go along with it. There may be other things that don't work exactly right. For example, audio doesn't work on my Windows computer. Your experience may be different. Aside from any problems, you'll wind up with a useful desktop. It includes programming tools such as Python, Java, and Scratch, as well as a SenseHat emulator. And there is a complete installation of LibreOffice for word processing, spreadsheets, and presentations. But the great thing about Pixel is you can learn more about the Raspberry Pi without actually running a Raspberry Pi. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Raspberry Pi Weekly. Be sure to join the LinkedIn group and check out previous episodes on LinkedIn Learning. I'll see you next week with more Raspberry Pi adventures.